Good morning, class. Time to put on your tinfoil hats. The question of whether or not we are alone in the universe is something mankind has wondered for hundreds of years. Is there life outside of Earth, and what would even make that possible? Well, the following theories explain why aliens are most likely out there. Here are 10 credible explanations why aliens likely exist. Number 10 is the number of planets. If we think of life as a phenomenon which requires a specific set of environmental factors to occur, then we can start to work out the probability of alien life in the universe. Temperature, material elements, chemistry, and stability, all of these things play their part. But the biggest, number one factor necessary for life as we know it is to have a celestial body like a planet. You know, the perfect neighborhood for life to evolve. Previously, we were not exactly sure that planets around other stars, known as exoplanets, actually existed. But with the development of the Kepler satellite, which can detect minuscule changes in a distant star's light when planets pass in front of it, astronomers have detected nearly 4,000 planets so far. So in other words, planets are probably abundant, and that means that there are plenty of places for extraterrestrial life to call home. You know, now that I think about it, an alien world would probably be perfect. Why would they want to come here with all the farting cows? It's a thing, Google it. Number 9 is the age of the universe. In case you didn't know, the universe is about 13.8 billion years old. Our planet Earth has been around for about 4.5 billion years of that, with the oldest evidence of life being 3.9 billion years old. It wasn't until about 7 million years ago that the first hominoids evolved, and then finally you get us, the Homo sapien, just a few 100,000 years ago. But even within that time, recorded history is only about 10,000 years old. Probably because we didn't develop writing until around that time. Well, you know, that, or there were numerous cataclysmic events that kept resetting our civilization. Mama, no! The point is, even if it takes 4 billion years to get civilization, the universe is way older than that. And extraterrestrial species could have become technologically advanced several times over during that time. So who knows how many alien cultures could be out there? They're probably looking at us right now like they're still using toilet paper. They don't know about the shells. Number 8 is the theory of panspermia. A big challenge in science is to explore the conditions which led inanimate matter to become self-replicating, evolving through natural selection. You know, that little thing called life. Most theories involve the early Earth environment, but one theory is a little different. The theory of panspermia states that life didn't start on Earth, but instead was brought here. Now hold on, before you start to think that ancient aliens did it, panspermia actually refers to the transference of bacteria. Microscopic critters were hitchhiking on an asteroid or comet which struck the Earth, depositing life into the seas billions of years ago. Furthermore, we know that volcanic eruptions or large impacts could feasibly throw out rocky debris into space. This then spreads life further from planet to planet. So it could very well be that we are the aliens ourselves, and that countless worlds have been seeded just like ours. Oh, I just realized what panspermia means. Get it? Volcanoes just it's inappropriate. Number 7 are hydrothermal vents. We know for a fact that life arose at least once here on Earth, and we can speculate about other planets and say it's likely that alien life exists, but we don't know that for a fact. However, by studying life here on Earth, we can increase our confidence. Now, there are many planets that are nothing like Earth. In fact, most of them are quite different. Many of them are too far from their stars to have temperatures needed for most life like on Earth. In fact, some are called orphan planets and and don't even orbit a star at all. But even these cold worlds may have life. You know, like ice people walking around. That's not what that means? Okay. Deep at the bottom of our oceans, there are hydrothermal vents, which spew heated gas and liquid from beneath the seabed. Around this heat source, a rich ecology of life has evolved without any sunlight at all. Astrobiologists hold out hope that even the remotest planets have such vents, and who knows what creeps around them. It's like a little club where all the alien life can get together and hang on the seabed. It's a lovely thought. Number 6 is the fertile solar system. We may not need to look very far to find extraterrestrial life if our own backyard is anything to go by. There are several candidates for environments which could actually support life around our own solar system, including Mars and the moons of Jupiter and Saturn. While so far Mars seems barren, there are telling signs that there may be life under the surface living in water. Around Jupiter and Saturn, moons such as Enceladus may have oceans of water underneath a thick crust of ice, warmed by the tidal forces of the huge gas giants they orbit. Some people have even suggested that there could be multicellular life, such as fish-like creatures down there. If life has evolved several times across our own solar system, then this would again support the hypothesis that the universe should be teeming with life. You know, if there are infinite possibilities of civilizations, then that means that there are infinite possibilities of what they could look like. Maybe they have hands growing out their foreheads and something like that. It's gonna be a nightmare. Number 5 is the resilience of life. The universe is a hazardous place filled with radiation and extremes of temperature which would wipe out a person in a blink of an eye. But when you look at the simple tardigrade, also known as a water bear, you realize just how resilient life can actually be, even when faced with the might of the universe. These microscopic animals can survive in mud volcanoes and at the bottom of the ocean, and can even withstand anything between -272 and 150 degrees Celsius. It can even survive without food for 30 years, tolerate 1,000 times more radiation than any other animal, and even survive in space. 30 years without food? I go 30 minutes without food and I get hangry. And there are other life forms called extremophiles, which can thrive in even harsher environments. If life can be this resilient, then maybe there are all kinds of weird, almost indestructible creatures living out there in the vastness of space. And humans are definitely not one of them, because I just stub my toe and I cry like a baby. Fragile. Number 4 are the building blocks of life. Knowing the building blocks of life can help us identify where it might arise. For example, scientists theorize that the molecule hydroxylamine is a building block of life. It's comprised of nitrogen, hydrogen, and oxygen, elements which are common here on Earth. And astronomers have detected it in abundance around a star just 1,000 light years from our solar system. So it's very possible that where we find the building blocks of life, hopefully we can find life itself. But there are also scientific models based on hypothetical biochemistry that state that life on other planets may use different building blocks. We're carbon-based life forms because there's a lot of carbon on Earth. But perhaps on another planet, something like silicon is the most abundant element, and therefore life could evolve from that. If that is the case, extraterrestrial life could exist in many more locations than we even imagine. Number 3 is natural selection. Evolution may mandate that there is extraterrestrial life out there. And not only that, but that there must be life which has technology and uses it to travel through space. Natural selection is the cornerstone principle of evolution. It's the idea of survival of the fittest. The idea that organisms adapt to their environments and eventually thrive because only the genetic mutations which make survival possible are actually passed on. We see it throughout Earth. Millions billions of organisms adapted to their surrounding environments. So, if we assume that some form of natural selection leads to simple life elsewhere, then that same process will, over billions of years, lead to creatures like ourselves who can change our environments. I would love to find out that there are aliens that survived on a volcanic planet. Fire aliens. Sounds badass. Number 2 is technology is king. Okay, we are now heading into some out there ideas, but be brave and come with me on this journey. I won't ask for much, maybe your sanity, but that's about it. We are constantly innovating and creating new technologies, and those technologies then lead to other breakthroughs. There is a philosophical concept that we are merely the reproductive organs of technology, creating more of it until that technology can replicate itself and head out on its own. Yep, hand over your sanity, please. Arthur C. Clarke explored this idea that space is so vast that we wouldn't actually ever meet aliens, but instead would encounter their technology. If there are aliens out there, they may be pieces of technology which replicate and explore the universe. In this way, one alien civilization could give birth to millions of others. And I'm fine with this as long as they aren't the Terminator or the Borg. That would suck for us. And number 1 is the Stronganthropic principle. The Stronganthropic principle states that the reason we exist in this universe is because our universe makes life likely. It's organized in such a way that all the laws of physics make sentient, intelligent, technology-building creatures probable at some point. The mathematician James England has even developed a mathematical theory which states that life has to happen, that it's as miraculous as a rock rolling down a hill. It will happen because our universe has all the right parameters to make it so. If this is the case, then it's very likely that we are not alone in the universe. And now you know, you may take your tinfoil hats off, class. So that was 10 credible explanations why aliens likely exist. But if you guys enjoyed this, remember to give it a big thumbs up. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications by clicking the little bell beside the subscribe button so that you never miss a thing, because I release new videos all the time. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the other side. Time to take off.